Hello and welcome back to another Player 2 review discussion. And in a nice change of pace, I've got someone other than Matt Hewson here. Ollie from Vooks. How are you, mate? Welcome aboard.
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
No, not a problem at all. You've been just like myself, busy playing Mario Party Superstars in the last couple of weeks, and we thought it'd be a good idea for the two of us to get together and have a bit of a chat. So here we are.
Here we are.
Surface level thoughts before we kind of dive into some of the minutiae. What are you thinking? Your review, as of when this goes live, your review, like my own, is now available on our respective websites. So,
Yep.
surface level thoughts.
I mean, look, I think it's definitely a huge step up from Super Mario Party, just in the terms of the mini games themselves not requiring motion,
Yeah.
and being those classic mini games that everybody knows and loves. The boards are way more fun, and again, like this is just classic boards, but they have done some
They've
nice
reworked
things.
them in a good way.
Yeah. And yeah, just like overall, like I've had an absolute blast with it. At least with other people. The single player experience I find is a little bit boring. But
Yeah, I'd argue Mario Party's kind of always been like that.
yeah,
And look,
sure.
it's obviously by design it is meant to be for multiple players, whether you're on the couch or in this case online. But yeah, it's never really worked. I think I share that same sentiment. Any previous Mario Party games, and it extends to this one, which I played a little bit solo as well. Yeah, that's not the most enjoyable part of the game.
Yeah, for sure. And like I have played quite a lot of solo. I've played through all of the boards with my family.
Yeah,
Um, don't know if they'll ever want to talk to me again after this because some of those boards are real brutal.
and were
But
you like myself, where you just won every game? So like, well, where's the fun in this?
I actually lost most of the
Oh,
games.
really?
Yeah, just through like pure bullshit luck stuff where like, I was in the
Vintage
lead,
Mario Party.
you know, two turns in a row, somebody else would land on a hidden block that gave them a star, and it's like, well, this is kind of bullshit. Like, how am I supposed to come back from that?
That's the
Um,
one that gives me the shits about Mario Party.
yeah,
Are those random hidden ones that just appear? Like that's don't like that.
it's annoying as well when you're in like last place and then like drastically on last. There was one game where I had 1 star, and then like the person in third place had 3 stars, and then it was the other two people had 4 stars. And like when you get to that last 5 turns, and they're like, oh, here's the helping hand that we're going to give you to make a
Yeah,
comeback, and it like gives it to the person in third place. And it's like, well, I have 1 star. I have no chance of
yeah.
catching up otherwise.
I've never quite understood what systems are at play when it comes to that one. From the
Yeah,
very first Mario Party release to now, I've never quite understood how they land on what they do, because there never seems to be a rhyme or reason. I feel like it's not 80-90% of the time it will be the person that's last, but that 10-20%
yeah.
can't
Sometimes
work
it'll
out
be the
where.
third person. Yeah. Sometimes it'll even be like the person in second place.
Yeah, well, I reaped that benefit playing against my wife last night, and she was mortified.
Yeah.
Like she
I
was
mean, and
first at the time, hanging on there, and that just I was coming up to a star at the time, didn't have the cash at that moment, got loaded up, bought it, and then just the momentum swing from there, where I went on to win it. Like that's not fair.
yeah. I mean, talking about single player though, I do think that the AI is fairly reasonably balanced compared to previous
Yeah,
games. There are some like total bullshit moments where like they happen to land on the exact space that they need to, or roll the exact number that they need to,
yeah,
or
yeah.
if
I
you're in
agree.
like a Bowser thing where it's like it always lands on Bowser minigame, just always, which I guess makes it, you know, a little more fun because like it's not really particularly fun to see like them land on Bowser and then just lose their coins.
Oh, look, it's a
Um,
little bit fun.
it is a little bit fun. But yeah, I mean like the AI, I mean even like in the top end of the AI when you put them onto expert, they are flawless at those mini games. And
Oh yeah.
I try to keep up with them, but man,
I mean,
it
things
is
like
not.
Shy Guy says, when you go back to that one and you're playing against him in expert, like you just know you're not going to win. Like
Yeah.
it's
Um,
there's a few times where I've hung on for it. Probably the best that I've ever performed, and this includes obviously when those levels first surfaced all the way back when I was a little kid or whatever. never done it better, and you're still losing. Like,
Yeah.
it's quite brutal in that sense. But I do enjoy still ratcheting it up. Maybe not quite as high as expert, but I felt like on normal there would still be some really illogical decisions that would get made by the AI from time to time.
Yeah.
You can actually reach the star from here. You've even got the money to do so. When you pass, I can see that you're not going to land on any space that's going to do you any harm, and yet you chose to go a different path.
Yeah.
What? Like there's a few of those every now and then. You're like, I can't, and you can only laugh.
At first, I thought that it was like, because the first couple times that happened, they would be landing on like lucky spaces or item spaces. So I was like, all right, so they're clearly designed to like prefer lucky or item spaces. But then like I've had, the AI land on red spaces or just like regular blue spaces as well, rather than going to the star that they can reach. Or
Cool. So it's not just me.
On the island stage, I cannot remember the names of any of the stages.
Yeah, the Yoshi's like the level 1 difficulty one. Yeah, the original one. Yeah,
with like the thwomp. Passing the thwomps, I find that like the AI just does not want to pay for the thwomps. I never had them do that. They would just like go around in circles rather than like going to the thwomp the thwomp where the star is. And it's like, well, it costs you 2 coins and you've got 60. Why not just go through? Like, you could make it so much more difficult for everybody else to follow you as well.
Yeah, completely agree. The AI can be a bit nonsensical at times.
But I think in terms of like, they play strategically. There's stuff on those boards that like I had no idea that you could actually do until I played against the AI.
Yeah, okay. What sort of things did you discover? Sorry.
I didn't know about the big boo in
Oh yeah.
Mountain. And that is absolutely savage. Like, I had no idea. But yeah, and also like I never really spent the money to put large piranha plants down on
Peach's cake,
birthday cake. So I didn't really know what they did. I mean, that's on me. That's not really anything else. But like the fact that you can just land on that and it gobbles up a star is just ridiculous. Like I played an AI game where I was like 4 stars ahead, and just because like Donkey Kong went through and like landed on every single one of those spaces and put a large piranha plant on, by the time I got round the board the next time, I had 1 star left and Donkey Kong was sitting on 8. So it can be pretty harsh at times.
Yeah, the old Mario Kart style rubber banding can be pretty extreme in a few of those cases. But you're right, though, in terms of some of the discovery, some of those features, I was a little bit the same. I didn't realise, like, I had the cash in the first place when it came to Peach's birthday cake the first time I went through it, and so I just threw 30 coins in. Like, a large one? Sure, I'm going to take more money. Then discovered afterwards it was a star. Similar idea with the King Boo there. Like, I made it there, and you've got to have a key to actually access that portion. I happened to have a key at the time. Went through them like, okay, well, at the particular point, the star was just on the other side of it. Kind of, for people who haven't played this particular part of the map, it's the top right corner. There's kind of a little loop. You can kind of go, just cut across it horizontally in, I think, about 5 spaces, something like that, versus about 8 across the top. Now, I'd used a triple block and had, I don't know, about 17 up my sleeve. So I was like, okay, well, I'll go across the top and deal with Boo, steal some coins off someone, and then pick up my star on the way out.
Yep.
Went through, discovered, hang on, what? Like, I just thought it was a normal Boo. It wasn't super obvious on the map. It is, in fact, but it's not. It's still fairly subtle if you don't know what you're looking for. Rolled in, all of a sudden I'm stealing coins off everyone, and if I had 150 coins, I could have stolen stars off everyone. Like, it's huge.
And I think like the maps that do have that opportunity to turn it around are like way more exciting than the maps that don't. Like the fact that you could be like in last place but have a ton of coins, and then happen to get like land on all of the piranha plants in Peach's birthday cake, and then like actually stage a comeback. Like, that's great. I think that's really exciting.
You say exciting, I say soul destroying, but that's only because I'm the one getting screwed over by these.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like the collection of minigames that they've included is probably my favorite set of minigames in any given Mario Party game.
Yeah.
I can't think of a single one that I would say, oh, okay. There is one that I think is kind of garbage.
Which one's that?
And it's the cherry throwing one, where you have to you're swinging on the vines and you have to pick up a cherry and throw it to your partner. It's a 2v2 game. And I just found that like the timing on that was just like so off, and like it didn't make sense when you had to grab the cherry and like when you could actually hold it or let it go.
The thing I struggle with
didn't
that one is
enjoy
that
that
it
too
seems
much.
like because there's kind of cherries that they're like a bunch of 3 or 2 or 1, and the
Yeah,
different things kind of have a different weight. So if like your
yeah,
timing that might be great for the 3 and sometimes the 2 is just way off for the 1 because it just kind of loops up, like the arc is quite high, and so whoever
yeah,
you partner with has already swung back the other way. So trying to adjust, I guess it's kind of clever in some senses, but it can be really frustrating. That is one that I wasn't so keen on. But I
yeah.
do agree with you
Uh,
overall that the selection is fantastic, and that includes the likes of Tug of War and the like that have come back.
yeah.
They're here to destroy your Joy-Con, or your palms,
Um, I,
whatever comes
I
first.
I did notice that when you do play one of those games where
The
you have to like
warning,
rotate this, yeah, it gives you a warning that tells you not to use your palm on it. Um,
but and let's in a moment of honesty for the both of us, you saw that warning, but what did you do?
I use my palm, of course.
Exactly. We're all human. We know exactly how this what is the optimal way. My wife, who I was playing against at the time when I first encountered Tug of War in this game, adhered to the advice, and was consequently crushed.
Yeah, I mean, like it's the way you play it. Like I don't think that my pro controllers are really at any risk of being destroyed by this, like the old N64 controllers.
Yeah,
Um,
the sticks are a little bit better these days.
yeah. Although if you're using a Joy-Con, maybe not. um, but
Actually, that's
yeah,
I'm not game to try that. I could just rip the thing in half.
yeah. But yeah, I appreciated that they put that warning there, especially for children. But I'm still going to use my farm in every single instance
Yeah,
that I can.
exactly.
Um,
Did you have any particular highlight ones, like games that you're really glad to see pop up?
um, all of the ones where you have to like trace something. I can't even remember what
Oh,
it's called.
yeah,
The
like the old
Squid Game
cutout ones.
style
Yeah.
one, yeah. And the one where you're drawing on the piece of paper. I
Oh, to
absolutely
trap the toad. It's a
yeah,
2v2
yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, I really love those kinds of games just because they're kind of silly and fun. The ones where you have to like wind up um, what do you call it?
Oh,
A shy guy.
the flying shy guy, fly
Yeah,
guy, whatever.
uh, I, that's fun. I'm terrible at it, but I enjoy, mashing buttons. It's just like there's something special about like playing Mario Party with like a full group of 4, and then a game like that comes up, and all you can hear is just button mashing.
It's just going
Um,
nuts with it. It's awesome.
I genuinely love that. But yeah, I mean, like again, there aren't any games that I would say are bad. Some of the versus ones are a little bit iffy. Like the one where you have to go through the tunnel and you have to go up on the
Oh,
sides and stuff like that.
yeah, yep,
Some of
yeah,
them, like it's just like it's impossible to avoid some of the stuff that you need to avoid.
yeah.
It just doesn't
It
give you
gives
enough
everyone
time to do
an
it.
opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
Um,
Yeah, I'd agree with that. The thing that I enjoyed most, and like I spent a lot of time playing Mario Party 1 through 4 over the kind of
yeah.
the early years, and then fell off a little bit. I think maybe 7 might have been one I played. That was a GameCube title, if I remember.
I think so.
Like I jump in every now and then, just mess around for an hour or two, and then move on. But it was awesome to go like to play this, and the fact that we were playing for review meant that I couldn't just drift on and move away from it or anything like that. And I got to experience a whole bunch of these levels, these mini games. Sorry, that I just missed from kind of that 5 to 9 period on. I was really, really happy to kind of get that opportunity and realize, hang on, there's some actual good stuff here. Like I was maybe quick to judge back in the day, or and there's probably a point in time in life as well. Okay, I don't really want to be playing Mario Party mini games here when I could be playing really edgy stuff like God of War or whatever as a teenager. Like,
Yeah.
but I'm glad that now I've had this opportunity to go back and re-experience some of those ones because there are some classics in there.
Yeah, there
I just
really
never
are.
appreciated.
And like again, like I've said it a couple times now, but there are no games in there that I would call outright bad.
Yeah,
Every single time a game came up, like I enjoyed the heck out of it. Another one I enjoy because I'm good at it, is the one where you have to like select how many fruit you want to catch and avoid the honeycombs.
oh, that's a
Um,
classic. Yeah, I remember
yeah,
that one.
and like I'm really good at that game. Everybody else in my family hates me whenever that game comes up because
Okay,
like
so
I
we're reversed in our
always end up.
household. I'm the horrible one.
Um, But yeah, there's a lot of games that are just like, even the coin mini games are a load of fun.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
like
look, they're
the
some of the most enjoyable because no one loses.
yeah, and I think that that's one of the things that makes those just so much fun is that like, you know, you're not really competing or like trying to screw each other over. You're just trying to get coins.
Yeah.
Um, and I like that there's not just like 4-player ones. There's like 1v3
Like the conveyor
coin
belts,
mini
for
games.
example, and the coins that are
Yeah,
rolling down the belt.
and there's 2v2 ones as well, like the rowboat, the raft
Yeah.
one, um, which caused a lot of yelling in my household.
I
Um,
bet.
but yeah, I mean, like, it's those kinds of things that really like it helps to break up the sort of like everybody at each other's throats kind of
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah, it's the
which can
perfect change of
happen
pace.
very easily with Mario Party. Is just like you do get at each other's throats when you've just stolen 2 stars in one turn and you know tried to push forward. Having a competitive game in that where you can screw people over, not so great. So like having those coin mini games to sort of like break up the competitive streak is a really really great choice.
Look, sometimes it can go pear shaped. I'll admit that I was a little bit dodgy in one instance there where I had one of the, and this was the one I was talking about where for some reason I was randomly as the person in second given a special
Yeah.
item there. I was given the golden warp thing, the one that
Right.
allows you to
Yeah.
specifically choose who you want to swap with. So there was a few players converging on the start, except for myself. One of them being my wife, and I managed to convince her to head down nice and close to the star, only to then have my turn straight afterwards and swap spots with her. That went down understandably like a lead balloon. She didn't take that overly well, and then to compound things, the game decided let's throw the two of you together on the same team in a 2v2 after that. And it was, look, it's fair to say I copped a bit of an earful for my efforts moments prior. But when I managed to save the day in the 2v2 for us afterwards, it seemed like all was forgiven. I don't know. She's
Yeah, I
not
mean,
breathing
like,
in my food yet, so
I suppose that's like one of the things about Mario Party is that like because the tide can turn so quickly, like nobody really stays mad at each other for
for too long.
particularly long. Um, you know, you might have just had 20 stars stolen from you, but then like in 5 spaces you can steal 30 back. So
Yeah.
I found that like particularly in my family there was a lot of petty revenge happening. Um,
We're
but
not
like
immune to it.
but it's that's the fun of Mario Party. Um, yeah, I mean I think that the boards that they selected, I would have liked a little bit more variety. I know that like in some of the later Mario Party games, there's boards where I can't remember which game it is. I think it's Mario Party 5, where like you are like on this like dragon wall kind of thing, and you have to go all the way to the end, and then it takes
All
you
right.
back to the beginning, rather than like a board like that, and it's all about like you know stealing and getting stars. I would have loved to have seen the train carriage.
Oh,
Um,
from Mario Party 2?
yeah,
Yeah.
um, I thought that would. I think that would have been just fantastic. Um, but like I don't have any problems with the boards. I just wish there was a little bit more variety because a lot of them are just like the board game style. Go here, go to the
Yeah.
next star.
I mean, we are seeing a little bit of a tendency from Nintendo these days to add a lot of post-release content. I guess a certain recent golf entry is a perfect example of kind of what Nintendo's been trying to
Yeah.
do there. Maybe, not that I want to delve too much into speculation, but maybe we'll see some additions down the track for this. Can't
Well,
rule
I
it
mean,
out.
it's one of those things where like we didn't see any even updates for Super Mario Party throughout its lifetime until
They
you
added
know just
online years later.
until they added online years later. And I will say, like, obviously there is online for all of the game modes for Mario Party Superstars, but
Yeah.
neither of us have tried it.
Yeah, so it's
Um,
just an important disclosure for everyone watching or listening. If you haven't caught our reviews, as of when we're recording this, that may change somewhere between now and when the embargo for the review lifts. But as of the time that we're recording this, the online is not available to us right now, so, which is why you've heard us speak exclusively about our couch co-op experiences in that space. So just one for people to keep in mind.
yeah, but like if it is anything like Super Mario Party's online, it'll be pretty solid.
Yeah,
Um, I
thankfully
mean,
it's not
the
too
good
demanding.
Yeah, and like it does save your progress in between every single turn.
Yep.
So like if your internet cuts out or whatever, you can just back
Pick it
out
back up.
and yeah re-lobby up with people. At least I assume you can. Again, haven't
Yeah, fingers
tested it.
crossed. Again, we've got that disclosure now, so nobody scream at us. Outside of the, I guess, the core game itself, even when I booted into the world in the first place, I instantly got the original Mario Party vibes, like the layout there of kind of, you got the pipe in the center and the way they had the little
Yeah.
homes or buildings kind of set up around. I'm like, okay, so you're really trying to hit on the nostalgia here. This is a Mario Party 1 layout, but then we're seeing like the opportunity to buy more, whether it's art or music or those sort of things. Like we're making good use of the currency that we're building up off the back of each game. Were you happy with kind of the options that were available to us outside of the core party mode, essentially?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'll be honest, a lot of the time I've spent in the game is like purely just grinding coins so I can buy all the stickers.
Yeah.
I I think the stickers are like just some fantastic pieces of art. And I hope that like they release those like separately as
Yeah,
just
that'd
like
be cool.
things that we can send to people as reaction images or whatever. I thought they were absolutely great.
I'm into
Or
that. I like
as
that idea.
sticker sheets as well. If they add some sticker sheets of those in the My Nintendo store, that'd be great too. But yeah, I mean,
I like it.
like being able to like set up a little card and pick your favorite mini games and pick your favorite Mario Party game. I mean, like it's nice. I imagine that probably comes into play when you play online.
Yeah, that
It doesn't really seem
customizable.
like, yeah, it doesn't seem like it's really doing much at the moment. But like unlocking the music was great. There's a lot of fantastic music in the game. And I think they've like remastered all of the old
Yeah, they sound great.
tracks. They do sound absolutely fantastic. And you can unlock all of those and then listen to them at will. Um, so yeah, I mean, yeah, outside of the boards, it's a cute little nostalgic experience. And I think when you look at what they've put on offer here with the heavy focus on like the earlier Mario Party games, because there are like later mini games in there as well, but
Yeah,
there's a heavy focus on like the N64, GameCube, sort of early GameCube era.
yeah, because they even give you specifically the options to select, like when you're setting up your party in the first place, you can actually choose just 64, just GameCube, or there was some other options as well. It escapes me what they
Yeah.
were off the top of my head, but they weren't, just the Wii entries or anything like that. Like, it was, they were
Yeah, and
tipping into that early era specifically.
I think like the reason they're doing that is because like we know that like the Switch's main demographic is millennials. Like
Yeah,
that's who they're aiming for. And I think that like there's going to be a lot of people who grew up playing those kind of games and now have young children that they can play Mario Party with now. Um, and like focusing on those games that they played as children and absolutely loved is like a great selling point because like who doesn't want to play
yeah,
that bouncy ball game where you knock everybody else off. Like that's like one of the fondest memories of my childhood is like playing that game and like winning. So like I
not
think
so much when you're losing, but
no, not so much when you're losing. But yeah, I mean they've definitely angled for nostalgia here.
yeah,
Um,
like there's not a huge wealth of stuff outside of the core mode, but the stuff that's there, you're right, it tips into that nostalgia and just gives you a little bit of everything. And then obviously, yeah, the remastered tracks and those sort of things, the stickers, they're really great inclusions.
Yeah, and like having Birdo back, like I'm a huge fan of Birdo. I think she should be in absolutely everything. And she's not been in a Mario Party game for a while and wasn't in Mario Kart, so I was super happy to see her back. But I will say that like the score attack mini games that you can do in the mini game island or mini game mountain,
Mountain, yeah,
um, I've actually enjoyed that quite a lot. I quite like puzzle games. So being able to like play a sort of I guess it's sort of similar to Puyo Puyo,
yeah.
the falling blocks. Like being able to play that and it's like get as many points as you can in under a
It's a
minute.
nice change of pace again.
Yeah, and like that's one of the things that you can do. Single player is like rack up high scores in all sorts of mini games that have scores. one of the ones is the snowboarding one.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah.
and you know, I I
But are you
spent
talking about
a
the one where
good
you have to post for like A, B, X, Y, and you just
yeah
keep going
yeah.
around the circle there?
Um, I spent like a good hour trying to like get the best score I could in that in the score attack mode, just because it's a fun mini game.
Yeah,
But yeah, having like the puzzle ones separate, I don't think the puzzle ones actually come up on boards. I know that the like the Puyo one does, but the one where you have to
yeah,
drop onto the spinning disc, I don't think I ever saw that come up in a game, and I'm
yeah.
kind of glad
I can't think of
because
a scenario where I've dealt with it. So
um
you
I,
might be on
I'm
something there.
yeah, I'm kind of glad that it doesn't come up in that situation because like we tried that out because after we played through all of the boards, we're like, all right, we'll go through and play every mini game that we haven't played so far. Um, and yeah, playing that one, it was like that was a good 25 minutes of
Yeah,
like a 1v1 situation. And like, so if that is what it would be like if it comes up in a board, like I'm glad it doesn't come up in a board because I would just tap out at that situation. Um, but like having that little side game and like I think playing that online against people is going to be
yeah.
really fun as well.
Oh yeah, for
Um,
sure.
like if there's lobbies or if you could just like do a random game, it's like I want to play this game against somebody. Um, hopefully there's the player base to do that.
You'd like to think
Because
so. Uh, It'll get
yeah,
the Switch perk where it'll just sell like hotcakes, and there'll be millions of people jumping into this thing. It's gonna be chaos.
yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean like I haven't done too much in the Mount mini games. Um, just because a lot of it just seems like play these games. Like there's a sport one, and it's like, well, it's just gonna play all of the sports mini
Yeah.
games. Like it's not like I wish there was something sort of like Super Mario Party's like river race kind of mode where you like work
Oh
together
yeah,
to do
yeah. I
that.
think I know, but I think I know
Um,
what you're referring to.
yeah. But yeah, I mean like it's a Mario Party game, and the boards are way better than Super Mario Party.
Yeah.
And bigger and much more fun.
And the
I
additions,
was
like to some of those older ones, the additions do feel good. They don't
yeah
put like there's not kind of a clash in the design from the initial design from kind of the 90s or even early 2000s versus what we're dealing with in the modern day. Like they do the things that they've added fit in the right way.
yeah yeah. It doesn't feel like it's betraying those boards in any
Yeah.
way. It's not like we've completely overhauled this and now it's exactly the same as every other board.
Yeah, they complement each
Like
other.
yeah, everyone feels great. I particularly like the space one. Again, can't remember the
Yeah.
name. Just because like happening to like land on that event space and then having Bowser just like destroy everybody in the middle row is so funny to me. Because
It's
they just lose all of their coins.
yeah,
It's
pretty devastating
horrible
that
when it
consequence.
happens to you. Because it did happen to me because like I had like 230 coins and I was like just on the edge of it.
Oh
And then
no.
just got annihilated by it. So it's not so fun when it happens to you, but when it happens to somebody else, it's great fun.
Yeah, you're pissing yourself. You can't help it.
Yeah, I was surprised to see that there wasn't like a sixth unlockable board when you finished the other
Yeah,
five.
that would have been good.
Because like that is something that even Super Mario Party did. If you finish the other four boards, you unlock the fifth one, and the fifth one was not great.
But
But
it
it
was
was
there.
still an unlockable thing. Um, so it's a little bit it was a little bit disappointing to see that there wasn't an unlockable board or really much unlockable at all. Like I was expecting there would be unlockable characters, but no, just the 8 characters that you get
Saving it
given
for
at the
DLC.
beginning.
You watch. They're gonna squeeze it out of us.
Yeah, I mean, I would not be surprised in the slightest.
The thing is, I won't
But
object. I feel like what we've been given is still really quite good, and it's plenty to chew through anyway. So I can deal
yeah,
with it
I
if they
mean, like,
decide to add a few more characters or a few more games or maps, or sorry, boards or whatever the case happens to be.
yeah, I think we're sort of at that point where like the Switch doesn't really need another Mario Party game.
Yeah,
Like, there doesn't need to be another $80 new Mario Party game.
yeah,
If you
this
want
can
to
be it.
add, if you want to add motion games, you can make DLC for Super Mario Party, and if you want to make or add more traditional games and traditional boards, then you can add that to Mario Party Superstars. Like they've got the solid base for both of them. Both of them have
Yeah,
full online support for everything now. We don't need any more games, at least on the Switch. So, I hope that they do put DLC forward. And like, I don't know whether it's going to be paid DLC or free. They seem to do a bit of a mix of both over at Nintendo.
Keep us on our toes.
Yeah. But like, I would gladly pay, $25 for a couple new boards and 20 new mini games, for example. Yeah, I would have absolutely no issues with that at all.
Yeah, me too. Well, I think we've left, for want of a better phrase, we've left nothing on the table here. We've really gone deep on that one. I was thinking this might be one of our shorter discussions, but in fact, we've managed to really, really pick every single aspect of this apart in a really awesome conversation. So, for everyone watching and listening, that's Mario Party Superstars. As of when you see this, the game is out, well, this week. So, be sure to keep an eye out for it. It's on the Switch. If you've liked what you've heard us describe, game might be for you. Before we disappear, Ollie, thank you very much for coming aboard and sharing all your thoughts on the game. But for people who want to get a closer look or get more in touch with really 100% how you're feeling and into the minutiae there, where can people go check out what you've got to say and your review?
Sure, you can see the review on Vooks.net. That's VOOKS.net. Or head over to my Twitter, because I will undoubtedly talk about it a lot, which is @Chocobalt, CHOCOBALT. But also, if you're interested in what you read on Vooks, jump into our Discord. There's a link on our website, or you can go to bit.ly/Vooks Discord, because we have a nice little dedicated community there that talk about just about everything you want to know.
And feel free to go further. There's the Patreon as well, so consider jumping aboard and supporting the team there. They are, like, speaking as someone who's not on the team, you guys are doing sensational work consistently, like an absolute powerhouse what you and Dan and the team are doing. So every single cent that comes through from the Patreon, every single click you guys get, every single person in the Discord, that's all deserved. You guys are doing some amazing work. So congratulations on all that, and
thank you.
Please, anyone who's not familiar with the site and you're checking this video out or this podcast version out, please be sure to go and check out the site. As Ollie's review, but then everything else as well, because they do an awesome job.
Yep. Especially if you want bargains. We put together a bargain guide for every single big game that comes out, which has all of the prices from all of the places and all of the pre-order bonuses. So
if you're feeling a bit stingy when it comes to Mario Party, go take a look. You might be able to save a few bucks on that there too. Ollie, thanks for coming aboard, mate. I really appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me. Hopefully we can do more of these in the future.
Oh, 100%. We'll be in touch. We'll make this happen going forward. I guess on the Player 2 side, again, please make sure to go check out the website. My review is also there. Very, very happy with the title. In case you haven't worked it out from what we've both had to say, both feeling fairly positive. So I've got some really positive thoughts that'll be on the site there. Make sure to check out the YouTube channel and the Patreon, and on social media you'll find me at Paul James Games, the website Player2AU. Otherwise, guys, thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you later.